Welcome students, I am Ravi Shankar. So in our last video we have completed how to measure the length, mass and time, and also we have seen the practical units of length, mass and time. The next part of your lesson is the theory of errors. What do you mean by these errors? See, when you are considering physics, the measurement is taken to be the foundation for all experimental sciences. So measurements plays a vital role in all experimental sciences. That is, the measurement that you are making may contain some uncertainty. That uncertainty is called as what? That uncertainty in measuring a physical quantity is called as error. So regarding that error, we are going to analyze in this topic or in this video. So first of all, let us consider when you are taking the measurements is the foundation science or is considered to be the foundation for all experimental sciences, all experimental science or sciences. So measurement is considered to be the foundation for all measurement science. That measurement, when you are considering that measurement will contain what? That measurement will contain certain that measurement contains certain uncertainty. This uncertainty in measurements is called to be error. Such uncertainty, such uncertainty is called as what? Is called as error. We are going to analyze about the errors in this video. See, measuring any physical quantity or measuring any experimental results without error is not at all possible. So we can say measuring any experimental results, measuring any experimental results without error is not at all possible, is not at all possible. What do you mean by this? So when you are doing a measurement in an experiment, then that measurement will have some uncertainty. That measurement will have some error. How to analyze or how to calculate the error, how to eliminate the error, or how to minimize the error, that we are going to see. See, when you are considering the errors, this in measurements, there are two terms available. One we are calling it out as accuracy, and another term it is called as precision. So in measurements, in general, we are using two concepts or two terms. One of the term is called to be what? One of the term is taken to be accuracy, and another term is taken to be precision. What is accuracy? Accuracy refers how far we are from the correct or the true value, or how near we are to that of the true value, or we are to that of the experimental or the theoretical value. What is precision? Precision refers how well we measure, how vigilant in we are measuring. So when you are considering the measurements, in measurements, two different terms are being used. Two different terms are generally used. What are the two different terms that we are using generally? One is called to be, one of the term is called to be accuracy. One of the term is accuracy. And the second term, we are taking it as precision. So what do you mean by this accuracy and what do you mean by precision? See, when you are considering accuracy, accuracy refers how far or how near, how far or how near we are from the true value. That is, how far or how near the measured value is nearer or far away from that of the true value or the correct value. So we are saying it as accuracy refers how far or how near we are from the true value. We are from the true value, that we are taking it as accuracy. Similarly, what do you mean by this precision? Precision refers to how well we measure. This precision refers to how well we are measuring that quantity, how well we are measuring, how well we are measuring. This term we are calling it out as precision. See, this accuracy and the precision are considered to be two important terms while making the measurement. Accuracy is how far or how near the person who is measuring the physical quantity is nearer to or far away from the correct value or from the true value. Similarly, when you are considering the precision, precision refers how well we are measuring. That is, how well we are measuring means to how we are vigilant in taking the measurement without making any error. See how you can able to explain this accuracy and the precision. I will try to explain you with the help of a visual example. See, you might have seen or you might have played a dartboard. Might have seen a dartboard. That is, you will be having an arrow which will be thrown on a board which is marked with several rings. Or you might have seen in Olympics. In Olympics or in most of the games where you are having the shooting ranges. See that the target will be, how the target will be? The target will be in the shape of what? The target will be like this. See, in the shooting range or in the dartboard, you will be having the target will be marked like this. See, the innermost ring carries the highest point and the outermost ring is carrying the less amount of points, 10, 5, 2, like that they will be considering. So let us consider this target board, some 2 or 3 target boards let us consider. See here, in this case, let us consider an player or a shooter is shooting towards this target board. So when he is shooting nearer to that of or shooting towards that of the target board, the shooter shoots some 5 shots from his gun. Okay, the shooter shoots some 5 shots from what? 5 shots from his gun. What happens? See, this is the first person, this is the second person, and this is for the third person. The first person shoots some 5 shots. One of the shot is shooting here. The second shot is shooting here. The third shot is shooting here. The fourth shot is shooting here. And the fifth shot is shooting here. See, in this case, we are saying the shooter is not accurate as well as the shooter is not precise. Accurate means it should be shooted at the center point. That is accuracy. Then precision means how well he is shooting. He is not at all shooted in a good manner. One is at the left corner, one is at the right corner, one is at the top, another one is at the bottom. So in this case, the concept is this figure represents, or the shooter is not accurate. The shooter is not accurate, and we can say not precise, not accurate, and is not precise. Okay, let us consider the second one. The second shooter is also shooting 5 shots towards what? 5 shots towards the target. See, in this case, he is shooting all the 5 shots nearer to one area which is not accurate. But all the 5 shots are considered to be at one nearer to one place. So we can say the shooter is not accurate but precise. He can able to shoot at one particular point repeatedly. So the second case, the shooter is not accurate. The shooter is not accurate, but what we can say, but he is precise, but precise. Then let us consider the third shooter. The third shooter, while he is shooting one of the shots nearer, and other shots also nearer to what? Nearer to that of the center point or the target. So in this case, he is precise as well as accurate. So the third shooter, we can say that he is accurate, and also we can say that it is precise. So this we are taking it as, or this we are considering it as, what do you mean by accurate and precise? So accuracy refers how far or how nearer that observer or the experimenter is nearer or far away from that of the experimental or the true value. Precise, what do you mean by this precise? Refers how well he is measuring. So this visual example can throw an idea regarding what? Can throw an idea regarding accuracy and precise on you. Okay, but it is not necessary that accuracy or precise should be accurate, or accurate should be precise. But accurate should be always precise. But precise is not considered to be what? Precise is not considered to be always accurate. See, let us consider a note. Let us consider a note. What is it? In measurement, or if the measurement is precise, if the measurement, okay, if the measurement is precise, it is not necessary that, it is not necessary that it should be accurate. Not necessary that it should be accurate. It should be accurate. But when you are considering the measurement is accurate, it is always precise. But however, if the measurement is, considered to be accurate, then it is also what? It is also precise. So let us consider this as a note which may be asked for one-word question. So when you are considering errors, first of all, we are coming across two terms. One of the term, we are taking it as accuracy, and another term, we are calling it out as precise. Let us go for the analysis of the. So we are going to analyze the error. First of all, what is done by this error in measurement? Already I have told you, error in measurement is nothing but the uncertainty in measurement is called to be the error. See, what are the different types of errors, or how we can able to classify the errors? See, in general, we can classify the errors under three headings. one called to be systematic error, the second one called to be random error, and the third one called to be gross errors. See, what do you mean by this systematic errors? Systematic errors is further classified as instrumental errors, or we can say imperfection in measuring the experimental data, personal errors, errors due to external causes, and least count error. We are having 5 subdivisions in systematic error. See, the name systematic explains why that error is occurring. A person can able to know, and we can able to eliminate, or we can able to reduce the occurrence of the error easily. Then the second one, we are saying it as random error. What do you mean by this random error? As the name explains, random. Why that error is occurring, we don't know. So the error may occur without any reason. That we are calling it out as the random error. And random errors can be minimized. We cannot eliminate random errors. And finally, the errors which we are considering is called to be gross errors. The gross errors are mainly 100%. It depends upon the person who is taking the measurement. So it is due to sheer carelessness of what? Sheer carelessness of the observer. If the observer is vigilant, if he is perfect in his work, then gross errors can be eliminated, or gross errors can be what? Gross errors can be eliminated, or it can be minimized. So let us consider about that errors. So first of all, let us define error. What is meant by error? We can say that the uncertainty in measuring, the physical quantity. Uncertainty in measuring the physical quantity or making the measurement, whatever may be, is called as, or is known as, is called as error, or it is known as error. When you are considering this error, I can take like this. In general, the errors can be broadly classified under 3 headings. Broadly classified under what? Broadly classified under 3 types or 3 headings. What are the 3 headings under which the errors are classified? One, we can consider it as, one we are taking, or one we are considering it as systematic errors. Systematic errors. Then the second one, I can consider it as random errors. And the third one, we are taking it as the gross errors. See, when you are considering the systematic errors, the systematic error is further classified under some 5 headings. What are the classifications of systematic error? The classifications of systematic error are: number 1, it is taken to be instrumental errors. Instrumental errors, that is the error occurring in the instrument itself. Then the second one, we can say imperfection in experimental techniques or in procedures. So imperfection in experimental techniques. While doing the experiment, we are not doing it in proper manner. So we can say imperfection in experimental technique, or in procedure. The procedure is not followed properly. That is imperfection. Then the third one, we are considering it as personal errors. The error due to personal rights. Then the error due to external causes, the error due to external causes, and finally the error is called to be least count error. So we are having some 5 types of errors while studying the systematic error. None of this error can be eliminated, but the errors can be minimized as less as possible. Now let us analyze each and every part of these errors. First of all, let us define what do you mean by systematic error. The errors which are reproducible inaccuracies. That is, reproducible inaccuracies means that that error can occur again and again, which are considered to be consistent. Again and again it is getting repeated. That we are calling it out as consistent in the same direction. That error we are calling it out as systematic error. For example, I am saying one. So you take a scale that you are having it in your geometry box. While you are getting the geometry box as a new one, the edge of the scales will be very sharp. So the readings will be more accurate while you are using that scale. But due to repeated usage of that scale for an year or for 2 years, what happens? The edge of the scale will become blunt. So when the edge of the scale becomes blunt, it is very difficult for us to make the reading right from zero. So if you are again and again, if you are taking the readings of that same scale, then the error will be consistently occurring in the same time. That type of errors, we are calling it out as systematic errors. So the first error or the first general error, we are calling it out as systematic errors. So let us define what do you mean by this systematic error. Let us consider what is meant by this systematic error. See, we can say the error or the errors which are reproducible, which are reproducible. The same error can be occurring again and again, or we can able to get that error again and again. So we are calling it out as reproducible. Okay, the error which are reproducible, which are, or you can say errors which are reproducible errors are reproducible inaccuracies, inaccuracies that are consistent and occurring in same direction, then we are taking that errors as systematic errors. The errors are, we can leave this which, errors which are, or the errors are reproducible inaccuracies that are consistent and acting in what, and acting in same direction are called to be systematic errors. Why these errors are occurring? You can say these errors are occurring often due to the problem persisting throughout the experiment. Because when you are using a faulty instrument, then if you are making any number of measurements using that instrument throughout the experiment, that error will be occurring again and again, or repeatedly it will be occurring. So we can say these error, or we can write these errors often occur due to a problem, that persists throughout the experiment. Okay, so if that is what I have told, if you are using that faulty scale in order to measure different measurements in that experiment, each and every time you will be able to get only the measurements with error. We can't able to get what? We can't able to get accurate accurate measurements. That we are taking it as systematic error. When you are considering the systematic error, it is again classified under 5 headings. So already I have told that 5 headings. So we are saying the systematic error is classified under. So we can write like this: systematic errors are classified under 5 headings. And let us go with the 5 each and every heading separately. What is the first heading available? The first heading is called to be instrumental error. What do you mean by this instrumental error? See, we can say that the errors that is available in the instrument itself. If the instrument itself is making a wrong calibration, that is, the best example is this one. You are having what? You are having a scale. In that scale, the calibrations, the markings are being made 1 centimeter, 2 centimeter, 3 centimeter, 4 centimeter, like that. That was being done by the manufacturer who has created that scale in the company. If the calibration that was being done itself is wrong, then the error is considered to be instrumental error, because the instrument that I am considering is having wrong calibration. It is not the mistake of the observer, it is the mistake of the manufacturer. So how you can able to eliminate that error? You have to take another instrument of the same type and we have to take measurements. This is considered to be instrumental error. So let us take, what do you mean by this instrumental error? See, let us consider the instrumental error as when the instrument is not calibrated properly. So we are right, when the instrument is not properly calibrated. Calibrated means marked. Calibrated. Then the measurements will have error. Then the measurements will have always error. Okay. So this type of errors, we are calling it out as instrumental errors. I can say an example. See, measurement with a scale having wrong calibration or worn out edges. I can say an example. See, measurements with a scale, measurement with a scale having worn out edges. If the edges are considered to be worn out, then if you are taking readings with that scale, the readings that you are getting will have error. So how you can able to make the correction? So what is the correction? Very simple. We have to use a new instrument. So can be corrected by choosing, the device properly. So by choosing the correct device, we can able to make measurements without error. This is one of the errors of systematic error, called to be instrumental error. What is the second one? Already I have told you, imperfection in experimental technique or in procedure. So the second error that we are going to study is imperfections in experimental techniques or the procedures While doing the experiment, we have to follow a particular procedure. If the procedure is not in proper manner, then the errors available is called to be imperfections, or there will be some error, and that errors is called to be imperfection in experimental techniques or procedure. There is a procedure, there is a technique, how that experiment has to be performed. So that is why while you are after doing your experiments and putting all the calculations in your record notebook, you are writing the procedure, how you have done that experiment. That the technique or that procedure should be followed. If not, you will be able to get error. That error is called as imperfection in experimental techniques and in procedure. How it is arising? It is arising due to the experimental arrangements or in doing that experiment. See, we have to follow some precautions also while doing some experiments. If not, then we will have that error. That error, we are taking it as imperfections. So we are saying these imperfections arise due to the limitations, in the experimental arrangements while performing that experiment, or before starting that experiment, we have to make some initial adjustments. If that initial adjustments are not done properly, then the errors are imperfection in experimental technique. I can consider an example. See, while doing an experiment with calorimeter, so performing, let us take like this, performing experiments with calorimeter, one should follow the proper precautions. Or one should carry out the proper precautions. If not, the measurement will have what? If not, the measurement will have errors in techniques or errors in imperfections. Then how you can able to correct this? So what is the correction available? Then you are considering the correction to overcome the errors in the result. Accuracy has to be maintained. The techniques should be followed in a proper manner. So I can write to overcome errors in the result, necessary techniques or necessary correction has to be applied. That is, necessary correction has to be applied at the result means while doing the technique, we have to do some of the precautions. And because of that precautions, what are the changes that are taking place that we can able to know. Then in that result, either we have to add or we have to subtract or multiply, divide. Some correction has to be made in the result. So I can say an example here also. See, you are using the worn-out scale. When you are using out the worn-out scale, instead of taking the reading from 0, if you are taking the reading from 1, and you are measuring a distance from 1 to 10, then the measured quantity is only having what? Only having 9 centimeters. If you are measuring it from 0 to 10, you will have 10 centimeters. Due to the worning out edges, the correction was being made. What is that correction? Instead of measuring the readings from 0, if you are using the number as 1 and taking the readings up to 10, then the correction should be made in the result. 10 minus 1, you will be getting at what? You will be able to get it out as 9. So this also you can consider this imperfection in experimental technique, which can be overcome by the making the necessary correction in the result or at the result. Then let us move on to the third one. What is the third one? The third one is personal errors. What do you mean by this? Personal errors. The personal errors occur only because of the observer. If the observer, there is a person who is doing the experiment, is not vigilant, if he is not proper in his work, then the errors occurring are called to be personal errors. So it is mainly due to the individuals who are performing what? It is mainly due to the individuals who are performing what? Who are performing the experiments. So I can write personal errors. These errors, okay, you can say the personal. So these, when you are taking this, so the errors, you are calling it out as personal errors, some problem. So let us consider these errors are due to individuals. These errors are due to individuals while performing the experiments. While performing what? While performing the experiments. See, I can say errors due to improper setting. Errors due to improper settings. Before doing the experiment, if the settings are not done properly, or we can say, generally we can say careless in observing the measurement. Careless in observing the measurement are considered to be some of the examples. Then how you can able to make the correction? So what is the correction available? Correction, we should be, the person who is making the measurement should be vigilant. So I can say the observer should be what? The observer should be vigilant. If the observer is vigilant, then we can able to minimize or we can able to reduce the personal errors. Then what is the fourth one? The fourth error that we are going to study is errors due to external causes. Errors due to external causes. I can say an example for this. See, you are performing an experiment inside your lab. For example, the experiment that you are performing is taken to be a simple pendulum experiment. In your 10th standard, you might have performed it. While doing that experiment, when you are counting that oscillations, if some disturbance like one of your friend is shaking the table, or the external cause, the wind that is available in the outside the room is blowing heavily, all these can able to affect the oscillations of the pendulum. So these are considered. Then while taking the reading, you will get the error. This type of errors, we are calling it out as error due to external causes. So when you are taking the errors due to external causes, the change in external conditions, let us take like this, the change in external conditions, the change in the external conditions while the experiments are performed, while the experiments are performed, that we are taking or considering it as errors due to external causes, due to change in temperature, due to change in pressure. If the results are affected means, then we are saying that they are also due to external causes. I can state an example. So now I have told the change in temperature of the surrounding, or I can say change in humidity or change in pressure, etc., can cause the errors while doing the measurement. See, how you can able to correct this error? The correction of this error is depending on the surrounding in which you are doing the experiments. If the surrounding is properly insulated from the external causes, then you can minimize what? Then you can minimize the error due to external causes. Then let us go for the final one, that is E, which we are calling it out as least count error. See, what do you mean by this least count? Least count means the minimum reading that can be taken, that can be taken with the help of what? Taken with an instrument, The minimum reading that can be taken with an instrument is called to be least count. If you can't able to get that minimum reading with the help of that instrument, then the error is called to be instrumental error. So errors due to this measurement, that is with the help of an device or with the help of an instrument, if you are not able to make the minimum measurement, then we are saying that as least count error. So errors due to this measurement is called as the least count error. See how you can able to minimize this. We have to get another device with high resolution. So we can say this can be minimized or eliminated. So these errors can be minimized by choosing the devices with high accuracy, or we can say devices with high resolution. This we are calling it out as the systematic errors. So while studying about the errors, we have said that the errors are generally or broadly classified under 3 headings called to be systematic error, random error, and gross errors. See, when you are considering the systematic error itself can be headed under or classified under 5 headings called as instrumental error, imperfection in experimental techniques or in procedure, then personal errors, errors due to external causes, and also finally the least count error. Still, we are having 2 more errors called to be random error and gross error, that we shall see it in our next video. Until then, thank you from Ravi Shankar.